Hey, fifth graders, how's it going? All right, so this is lesson 15. You probably noticed that I've worn the same shirt for the last several lessons because I'm trying to do this all at once because I want to get done and get out of here. Just maybe for fun, I guess. This is the room right now. It is, down and see, it is very, very empty. My desk still very messy, but oops, back up. Anyway, so that's where we're at. It's we're cleaning out the rooms, getting them all nice and ready for the summer, that sort of thing. And apologies about having to adjust this. I've got the computer on the little music stand, but unfortunately the music stand doesn't like the weight of the computer, so as this lesson goes, will gradually sink down unless my daughter comes over and pushes it up on occasion, which she doesn't have to do, but maybe she'll do it anyway. Doesn't matter. All right, so for this lesson, I've kind of zoomed you in here a little bit. Hopefully this will be easy to see. And thankfully we have this, otherwise I'd have to draw it, which would be terrible. This is polygons on a coordinate grid. So you guys have done graphing on a coordinate grid, or at least you have if you've done all of the lessons up till now. But it's not that bad, really. This is pretty straightforward. Really, for the most part, you can almost just count up the number of points that they give you, and that'll tell you what the shape is. But there are some little bits here and there that you might have to figure out. They do give you the graph paper, essentially, so it won't be so bad. You won't have to draw your own or anything crazy like that. The big thing to remember here is coordinates on, well, just coordinates in general, they go x and then y, okay? You can remember this because it's in alphabetical order. X comes first, then y, okay? And then you need to remember that the x is going side to side, y is going up and down. Again, I think as I said in a video, you can kind of think of it as like, hey, this x is a little bit shorter, y is longer, it's a little taller, that sort of thing. So I don't know if that'll help, but something to remember it. Oops, there it started to sink. Thank you, child. Thank you, daughter. Anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll just do the unlocking the problem one here. So it gives you a whole bunch of different pairs, x, and it even tells you the x and the y. So we've got 10 and 1, so we're going to go over to 10 and up to 1. You've got 2 and 6, so over to 2, up to 6. 2 and 1, so 2 and then up to 1. 6 and 10, so we're going to go over to 6, all the way up to 10. And then we have 10 and 6. And I think they kind of like try to put these out of order so that you don't start to get a sense for what it is. They kind of mix it up a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. Then all you have to do is connect the dots to the closest points to them. Oops, that was a terrible straight line. And I don't know if you can see this very well. I'm using purple, so hopefully it shows up. All right, and then you just have to tell me, what is that shape? Well, hopefully you guys remember that a shape with 5 sides and 5 vertices and 5 angles is a pentagon. So you would just write that it's a pentagon. If it only had 4, which is kind of the next part, it says, what if the greenhouse floor only had 4 of the 5 vertices given on the table and did not include 6, 10? Well, 6, 10, that's that one. So then you would say, well, it's only got 4 things, and they are a rectangle. So this is a very straightforward lesson. You guys should be able to figure out almost all of these really easily. The one thing that you might struggle with that I can think of off the top of my head is remembering the names of the different polygons. Now, obviously, everybody remembers triangle. You probably all remember rectangle and square. Pentagon, maybe. You also might struggle with the next couple. So after pentagon, which is 5, you have 6, which is a hexagon. I don't think they'll give you 7. That'd be a heptagon, but I don't think they'll give you that. And then an 8-sided figure is an octagon. That should, actually, I don't even know if you'll need octagon. Oh, the other one that might come up is, so there's lots of 4-sided figures, right? Like quadrilaterals is a 4-sided figure. We have lots of different names for lots of different quadrilaterals. I don't know why, it just is what it is. So obviously you have square and rectangle, but also don't forget a rhombus, which that's not going to come up in here. But a rhombus would be if all the 4 sides were the same. And then, but the one that will show up is a parallelogram. You're shaking the camera.
I noticed.
As a parallelogram, which just means that opposite sides are parallel to each other, okay? So that one will show up. There's one problem. It's on the homework, so you'll figure it out really easily. But aside from that, pretty straightforward. Actually, let's talk number 5 just really quickly, and we won't need this. So, number 5 says a football field is a rectangle measuring 300 feet by 160 feet. Each unit on a coordinate grid represents 1 foot. 0, 0, and to 0, 160 are 2 of the coordinates on the football field drawn on the grid. Okay, so we are going to just kind of do this ugly style. So here's our 0, 0, right? That's this point. And then we're just going to go like 100, 150. Actually, let's not even do that. Let's make it shorter. 100. Let's say about here is 200. That would make this 150. Oh boy, terrible. 250. 300. Okay, so that's ugly, but it is what it is. So then we're going to go 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. 200, 100. Okay, and instead of 150, we're going to say that this is off just by a little bit, and we're going to make this into 160, just because that's the number that we're going to need. All right, so we've got all our numbers. Again, this is very rough. It doesn't actually matter that much. So we have 0, 0, so that's this point right here. And then we also have 0, so we're going not over at all, right? X is 0, up to 160. Okay, so these are the first 2 parts of our rectangle. It's just this right there. And we're going to make a football field that is 300 feet long. So what are the 2 points that are remaining? Well, obviously for the first part of our rectangle, we don't want to go up any, but we're just going to go over to 300. Okay, so this point here is 300 for our x and 0 for our y. Okay, and then the next one, in order to make this into a nice pretty rectangle, since so far it's a triangle, we're going to have to come up, right? And we're going to go up to 160. Right there is our other point. And so this one is over 300 and then up 160. So there's your 2 points. 300, 160, and 300, 0. Okay, that should get you through the hardest of this stuff. And that covers lesson 15. So let's see, lesson 16, we're going to be doing some more finding area, and then we got a whole bunch of craziness after that. All right, well, anyway, I will cover those in later lessons. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.